Welcome back to ASMR Jeremiah and Chess Tales and Lessons. My goal during this series is always to entertain, educate, and hopefully make you fall into a very deep and restful slumber. So, looking at our board here, you have the white pieces. I wonder, it'll be a little bit difficult to spot, even though I am shooting this in 4K, because I really wanted to boost the resolution for you. So hopefully you can see these pieces a little better. It's difficult at this angle, I know. But knowing what you've been taught by me and others, can anybody spot the most common error currently on the table? And this error occurs with shocking frequency. Anybody spot it yet? It is the flip-flopping of the positions of the queen and the king. Remember, my friends, we go rook, knight, bishop, right? Outside in, rook, knight, bishop. The queen must match her color. So the white queen always must go on a white square, just like so. And the black queen must always go on a black square to match. Now, I'm often asked, what is the shortest possible game of chess? Well, the answer to that is that a game, I wouldn't say this is a way to win a game of chess, although technically this is winning. I would say this is how you lose a game of chess in the fastest possible way, other than, of course, simply resigning. You can always just forfeit. But the fastest checkmate is actually 2 moves. Many of you are aware of the 4-move checkmate, sometimes called the scholar's mate, sometimes called the fool's mate. But this is a checkmate that can actually just happen. And it goes like this. The white pieces are going to make 2 crucial mistakes. A couple general rules of chess during your opening. Both sides are fighting for control of the center of the board. So this is what we're trying to really control, especially these 4 squares here, these guys. The second is the order of piece development. Now there's a guideline. My father taught me this. He got it from a famous chess book written by a Russian grandmaster named Aaron Nimzovich. And the book is called My System. And in it, Nimzovich talks about key guidelines, if you will. You don't have to open in this way, but highly recommended. And that is center pawns. So pawns, then pawns, knights. You want to go pawns, knights, bishops. Get your bishops developed, and then get castled. So pawns, knights, bishops, get castled, right? That's a guideline, okay? So if your board looks something like this for the white pieces, you're probably playing a decent game of chess, you know? You're going for control of the center, etc. And you get all your pieces developed. So, how can white lose a game in only 2 moves? I'll show you. It goes a little something like this. So instead of white opening up with one of the center pawns, either king's pawn forward 2 spaces, which is probably the most common computer recommended best opening move. Second most common is the queen's pawn opening. And it's amazing how that changes the dynamic of the game. King pawn versus queen pawn. And instead of that, these 2 pawns, white is going to make a bit of a blunder. And there are 2 not horrible in and of themselves, but not strong opening moves white can play. One is this pawn right here. So technically this is the F pawn, so this is the A file, B file, C, D, E, F, G, and H files. Rank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is moving out white's F pawn to F4. Risky opening move. Not necessarily catastrophic, but certainly open to threats. Black can respond in several ways. Black can, let's just say black brings out his own E pawn to E6 right here. Because what we're looking for is exposing this very dangerous dark diagonal, okay, to the king. That's why moving this F pawn, risky business in the beginning of the game. It can be done, but you better know what you're doing. So white opens with, let's say, F4. Black responds with E6. And now is where white has to make a second terrible, horrible, no good, awful, very bad move. And in this case, in this scenario right now, that would be the G pawn. If white moves the G pawn 2 spaces, that is a catastrophic move. For black now has checkmate in 1 move. I understand from this particular angle it may be difficult to see. It'd be better if I had a nice, like, totally vertical perspective. But can you spot it anyway? And the answer is queen to H4. And this is checkmate. This is known as the fool's mate. For white had to play very, very poorly, very foolishly for this checkmate to even be possible. So white abandoned opening theory by not going for control of the center, not getting knights developed, not getting bishops developed first, and so forth. So white opened up and exposed the king side by making 2. And it doesn't matter which pawn move you made first. I mean, you know, you could open up like this as well, right? And then same position. Black can go 1 square or 2. You can just go 1 square again, it doesn't matter. And if white goes like this, we have the same problem. Queen can simply come down. No. And yes, just like that, the game is over, and you would have won. Congratulations. Anyway, that is the shortest possible checkmate in chess. And it only happened, I mean, have I ever seen it happen in a real game? I don't know. Maybe. Probably not. But there you go. That's the quickest checkmate in chess. The 2-move checkmate. Because black did it in 2 moves. So when you say like a 4-move checkmate, that is 4 moves per side. So it's 7 or 8 moves total. Now, the next opening that white can play, and I'm sure many of you are much more familiar with this opening, it is the Scholar's Mate, or also sometimes known as the Fool's Mate. Much more common, especially at the junior level. We teach this to kids that are very young, right out of the gate, so that they understand the concept of checkmate. Because checkmate is weird, right? You're not actually capturing the king in a game of chess. Your goal is to have the king where he is under attack, so he is in check, and he is unable to go anywhere. The king cannot get out. Checkmate. And the 4-move checkmate looks a little something like this. What white is trying to do is capitalize on the weakest square on the board at the moment for black, which is f7. This pawn right here on f7 is currently only being defended by the king. Nobody else is protecting him. If you look at your board here, this pawn here is being protected by the rook. This pawn here is being defended by the bishop. This pawn here is being defended by the queen. This pawn here, heavily defended. Knight, bishop, queen, and king. Same for here. Queen, king, bishop, and knight. And the same weakness applies on white's side of the board, which is the f-pawn. The f-pawn is only defended by the king in the beginning of a game. So it's something to be aware of. Now, the 4-move checkmate, or the Scholar's Mate, generally opens something like this. White will open up with e4, so the center pawn on e2 goes forward 2 spaces, because all pawns can move 1 square or 2 on the first move to here, followed by black's usual response. Now, black doesn't have to do this, of course, but the most common response to e4 is e5. Okay, both players are going for control of the center of the board, and business as usual in the land of chess. Okay, the following move, white has 2 or 3 options. One is more popular than the others, because usually you don't want to bring out your queen too early. So white generally does this little opening here where the bishop slides out and lands right here. That square happens to be c4, a, b, c, 1, 2, 3, 4. So bishop goes to c4, threatening a possible check. Now you need 2 attackers though to make it a checkmate. So black has many things it can do. It can play a copycat game. It can develop knight, bishop, whatever it wants to do. Let's say black copycats, as many young chess players do. They will simply copycat. So black does this and brings its own bishop out to c5, threatening white's also weak pawn here, and that's fine. And now white has 2 moves that it can do to complete the Scholar's Mate or the Fool's Mate, the 4-move checkmate. Because we need to add another attacker to the f7 pawn. So what white is going to do is very precociously bring out the queen much, much too early. And white will bring the queen out either to here, f3, or queen will come all the way out the board to h5. From h5, queen and bishop are now threatening the weak f7 pawn. And as many a young chess player will tell you, they look at that and they go, oh, okay, whatever, no big deal. I'll just keep developing. I'll either develop my knight, very common move, and this is a very good move, generally speaking, except for now. Now it's a terrible move, because you didn't take care of this problem back here on f7. And if black makes a move like this, or black makes a move like this, also a terrible move right now, or black brings out his knight, his other knight, again, terrible move right now. Let's go back to our first one where we bring our knight out here to f6, excuse me. Now that our knight is where he is, white has a checkmating move in one simple move, and that move is queen captures the f7 pawn. And this is game over. And I've seen this happen to many. Me say many money. Me say many. Great Fuji song. Too many mics. Anyway, I have seen this particularly tragic end to many a young player's game. For you see, the king is under attack. You can all see this. Yes, the queen right here is threatening the poor king, even though the king is surrounded by his countrymen, his wife, his soldiers. He's surrounded by his homies. He looked so safe, but no. The king is now under attack, and when the king is in check, there are three things you can do, or try to do. And if you can't do one of these three things, you're done, son. You're toast. It's game over. You can try to attack your way out, so you can try to capture the piece that is threatening you. Usually, not always, but usually, that is the best thing to do. The second best option, usually, not always, is to block. Now that would be putting one piece between the two. And of course, we know that a bishop cannot stop midway like this and go, ha, ha, I block you. I saw you, Lady Queen, and I will defend my captain. Oh, captain, my kingy captain. No, this is illegal. The bishop cannot stop. It has to be on a firm and solid square. So the bishop cannot block. The other option would be to run away. And in this instance, of course, as many of you know, the king has nowhere to run to, for a king can only go one square in any direction. It can't jump. It can't move 3 spaces or anything. And so, no matter where the king moves, he's still under attack. But why, you might ask? Can't the king simply capture the queen? No problem. King captured the queen. Bye. No. The bishop here is defending. So this does not get the king out of check. So in this case, this is a checkmate. So let me have you do that one more time. I'm going to reset our board real quick. And you'll see a scholar's mate again, or a fool's mate, whatever you want to call it. A 4 move checkmate, because technically that's what it is. It's a checkmate in 4 moves. What's white's first move? Very good. Pawn 2 spaces. E4. Nice. Black has many responses. Let's say black opts for this response, which is the most common response. Now, white is going to bring out a bishop. Now you could bring out your queen at this point. You could bring your queen out to here to f3 or h5. You could do that, and that's an interesting move, all things considered. But generally, because you're immediately threatening this pawn, which would come with check. So you know, look, the queen's powerful. The queen is not to be. You don't mess with the queen, if you know what I'm saying. I think you do. But risky move. I can block this in several ways. I would simply start by probably developing my knight here, right? And then if the bishop tries to get sneaky over here, now we got this nice little double attack going on. I can block with the queen. I can defend with the queen. I can defend with the knight. Now the knight is defending. There's other ways there's other things you can do to defend. Oh, you can also simply defend with pawn here. Now the pawn is blocking the queen. The bishop can still capture with check, but the king can simply capture back. And the knight is now defending the center pawn, so if the queen tried to get cheeky and come over here, she would find herself in deep, deep trouble. So, let's back this up a tickle. So, you could bring the queen out early to h5 or f3, but more common than not, people bring out the bishop first, just because it gives you more options. Black has a very easy defense of this position, which is usually simply to bring the knight out immediately to f6. And once the knight is at f6, you know, you're not really under threat of a scholar's mate anymore. The queen coming either here, the knight is kind of blocking the threat there. And if the queen is on f3, and if the queen comes all the way to h5, well, that would be a catastrophic move right now for the white pieces, because our handsome and powerful and mighty black knight would simply capture the queen. And white is going to find itself in a pickle. So, easy to defend against the form of checkmate, and it's amazing though, despite how easy it is to defend against the form of checkmate. How often victims succumb to it, especially at the junior level. So let's say black does not play that move. Let's say black develops the other knight, which is, again, even now, the position is not lost by any means. It's fine. The position's fine. There's nothing wrong with this position right now. White tries the attack. White brings the queen to f3. Again, the queen can attack like a rook or a bishop. So in this case, you move the queen diagonally, but now she is attacking vertically on the file. And again, black has many things it can do to defend this pawn. Black could simply develop the knight in this case, in which case you've now blocked the problem. Black can also simply bring the queen out here. Now we're threatening queens. A queen trade. And a queen trade right now for black would be awesome. If white decides to trade queens here, black develops with tempo. So now the queens are off the board, but black has now basically flip-flopped the tempo of the game, because white moves first. So white moving first gives white a 1/2 pawn advantage, some say. And now white has given up that tempo. Now white is behind in development. As you can see, white only has a bishop and a pawn, and black has 2 knights plus a pawn. So that is a superior position. A superior position. Yes. Now again, if white plays either queen to f3 or queen to h5, and black doesn't make the right move, let's say developing a pawn or developing a bishop, or even in this case again, if you develop the knight now, this knight development is useless because the queen is behind his striking line. And the queen can simply go behind the knight and again captures the pawn. And we are donezo, and that is game over. The king cannot capture the queen due to the bishop defending it. And the king has nowhere to run to. So that is a tragic, tragic game for the black pieces. Now, can black do a 4-move checkmate on white? Fundamentally, yes. The exact same principles apply. This has to do with white making a few really bad moves. Or just not even like, who am I kidding? White would have to make a couple big mistakes. But that would look something like this from your perspective as the white pieces. Let's say white again opens up with our king's pawn e4, black responds in the same kind. And let's say white now again develops the bishop, which is putting pressure here. No big deal. Black can simply do a copycat game, and all is well and fine. And here is where white would start making, I guess you could call it a blunder. Not even necessarily a blunder at this point. Let's say white develops his knight out here, and that's fine. We definitely want to get our knights in the game. Pawns, knights, bishops get castled, so this is all fine. And in this instance, it is black. The black pieces that are trying to get a little cheeky, a little aggressive, and overextend itself, and black can bring its queen out here to h4, or here, attacking on the file, here, attacking on the diagonal between queen and bishop. And if, white isn't paying attention and does something silly, like in this instance, if white develops his knight to here, thinking, hey, I'm going to be threatening the queen and threatening the pawn at the same time, I have nothing to worry about. White would be tragically mistaken. For in this instance, once again, the queen simply sweeps in, scoops up the pawn, and it is donezos for the white pieces. Again, we have a checkmate. The king is under attack. He can't escape. He cannot attack. If he tries to capture the queen, the bishop over here has the queen's back. She's like, not on my watch. The king can't move. He can't run anywhere. There's no escape. And that is the checkmate from the black side of the board against the white pieces. So both can do it. The key is exploiting the weakness, which is the F pawn for both sides in the beginning of a chess game. So that's that. I hope you found this lesson enjoyable. I know this is a very basic lesson, and I might try experimenting in more complicated ASMR chess scenarios. And I may need to get 2 cameras, frankly. I may need to get a second camera so I can have like a top view or like a side view. And yeah, I could do that. maybe that'd help you all out. I don't know. If that's something you would like to see, let me know in the comments. I love making chess videos. These typically don't perform to the level of my roleplay videos, like medical roleplays and so forth. But I really do enjoy making them. I really enjoy this game, and it's so much fun to play. You know, yeah. I'm just gonna play myself a quick game to see who wins. Probably me. That's the cool thing about playing yourself in chess, is that usually you win your own games, your own battles, because obviously. It's funny though to play against myself playing backwards. Like, I always play queen's pawn openings, or at least I frequently do. But we'll see what happens here. Let's get aggressive. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Be. And I'm playing very fast, so I'm gonna make a mistake. My goal for this simple little shindig is going to be to play quickly. I'm thinking the black pieces are going to win just because it's from my perspective, but maybe not. We'll find out. One thing that's funny, yeah, it's a very weird, like, Gestaltian thing when you play yourself chess, because one side of you always beats the other side, and it's like, wait a minute, I knew what I was going to do because I'm playing myself, and yet one side always wins. It's weird. Yeah, make of that what you will. It's weird because, like, I have to remember whose move it is. It's like, oh yeah, now it's black's move. Okay, black needs to make a move. Got it. Capiche. Roger. What are we gonna do? We're gonna make that move. That's a move. That's a thing. White was getting annoyed with this bishop pinning the knight there. I don't blame him. I mean, I'd be annoyed with that too. Let's try this move. See what happens. Let's try this move. And let's try this move. And let's try that move. And let's try a weird early rook lift. Why not? Let's get weird. Let's do a strange rook lift. And as black's move, let's say white is going to move to... I don't know. Let's do this. Exposing the attack on the pawn. Bringing the queen out. Risky business. And now let's say we really stack up on this attack over here. So we're really hammering on this pawn. Let's put this knight. Oh wait. Oh no. White just made a blunder. Oops. See what I'm telling you? I'm telling you, you always beat yourself. It's weird. You always beat yourself when you play chess. Of course, I'm probably going to play better from my side of the board because obviously I have a better perspective from my side of the board. Such is life. But as a wise person once said in chess, it ain't over until it's over. Chess is one of those weird games where, you know, your fortune can swing dramatically and very, very quickly. I need to keep moving because that's my job. I can't slow down now. I gotta keep pushing. I gotta keep advancing. Okay, so we're gonna do this move. And I cannot capture back, so I gotta move out of the way. And let's move out of the way over to here. And now white does this. And I can't. Wow, that's sneaky. It's funny, man. Like, white actually has a dangerous little attack when I'm threatening the queen. I need to move my queen. Or, but I'm worried about this mate back here. This threat of a possible checkmate. No bueno. What am I gonna do about this? Man. You know what? I'm gonna sack my queen. Cause this is dangerous. I'm sure there's a better move to make. But black still has the advantage. I like having my two rooks. I do need to worry about this back rank mate threat though, so let's move our king over. So that's the thing about chess. I mean, the game can just, fortunes can turn very, very quickly. Black still has an okay position, but it's not as good as it was. Let's see, I want to move this knight somewhere, I think. Or not. What do I want to do? I need to take advantage of these attacking bits and bobs. Let's go here. Because now what black really wants to do is trade pieces and exploit the material advantage. So let's see if he can do that. White definitely wants to activate this bishop. Get in the game. Ooh, I like this move. Check. Very aggressive. Check. Very aggressive. Black needs to watch himself. He's getting into trouble. Black is getting into trouble. White's getting into trouble. Check. That was probably a mistake. White has an escape hatch back here against this check. The king can escape up the corner. dancing knight. Check. Check. That's not good. That's not good at all. White's move. I think white has a 1 game. I think white is in pretty good shape. I'm not sure what black is going to do, because that's a problem. I don't know how to defend against that square right now. Oh, I know what I can do, though. I do need to make some headway here. And get rid of some of those pawns. So all white has to do, really, is get that pawn across the board, and it is game over. It's not looking good for the good guys, aka me. Looks like white's making a comeback. I definitely need to worry about that pawn getting to the end of the board. Cuidado. Cuidado. Is this gonna work? I think I'm gonna get there. Because yeah, I can't really do much about it. So pawn, queens, pawn promotion to queen. Congratulations, white. White is looking pretty good. Black is struggling, and my dog is really being needy. The goose that is very loose really wants me to stop playing chess. Alright, so I think white has mate here pretty soon. Let's find out. Let's go first. Let's do this. Check. Blank. And now white can do this. No, wait, I gotta remember which pieces I am. This is gonna hurt. Check. That is a lovely fork. Not much the king can do about it. There's this guy. He falls. Another one bites the dust. Queen is going to what? Let's just go harass and harangue with a check. The king is forced to move someplace he doesn't want to move, such as this. So it goes here. And now let's put the knight in a lovely position here, threatening checkmate here. It's not looking good. Let's still go check. Forcing the king this way, and now I think we can just bump up down the board and get another queen back. There's not much that black can do about it. And black can try to dance around and do something interesting, but it's gonna be tough. Check. Oops, mistake. Check. Playing fast and loose with my life. This will be faster. This is the fastest way to do it. I have to move my king again. Boop. And boop. And boop. And it's game over. Mate. So there you go. Well, white had quite the comeback. I'm surprised white won that game. I really thought black was going to win on my side. Say Libby. Well, friends, I hope you are relaxed and sleepy and drifting off into the blissful never never. and I'll see you again soon back on my channel. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you later. Bye.